another question for you. How do we figure out what our labor rate should be? We are on service department heavy questions here. So how do we figure out what our labor rate should be?
Well, I would call every other dealer and make sure that I'm a lot lower than they are.
Oh,
That's a terrible way to do it. So if you've heard us before, we know we do not call other dealers in our area and ask, oh, by the way, what's your labor rate? Because as we call that, pooling ignorance. Okay, nobody ever gets their labor rate up. So this to me is a pretty common question that we're asked in our new dealers and dealer success groups. I said, you reach out to your local Ford, Chevy, your truck dealers, find out what their labor rates are. That's where you need to be at. You need to be right around that area. They're the ones that set the tone for labor rates in the area, not you. Keep in mind, your labor rate is going to have an impact on what you can afford to pay technicians.
Absolutely.
So if I've got to pay a technician, let's say I got to pay a good heavy tech, a diesel tech, $45 an hour. Okay. And I said earlier with our salary caps that a technician gets 30% of their effective labor rate. And that's where we're going to, so I'm going to need a labor rate to pay $45 or $50. I got to have a labor rate of $150, $160 an hour.
Absolutely.
Right. So I tell people again, so you're not the one that chooses what a technician is worth today. There's a marketplace out there. The marketplace has made a decision, and this is what you're going to have to pay tax. And you've got to move your labor rate up there. So if it were me, I'd call my local Ford, Chevy, truck dealers, whoever it is, just say, hey, I'm Bob Clements with ABC Dealership. We service tractors. We don't compete against you, but I'm trying to get a sense of what the labor rates are. They will tell you what it is. And that's where you need to be, somewhere right in that range. Now you say, well, guys, Bob, we work on outdoor power equipment. We can't be $150 an hour. That's true. You can't be at $150 an hour, but you can't be at 85 either.
Exactly.
Okay. So you've got to get it bumped up there. When inflation's impacted this almost 25% over the last 3 years, and very few of my dealers have moved their labor rate up to offset that 25% of inflation. You all know your salaries have gone up, your pay has gone up. So again, we've got to get that labor rate up to help offset those costs.